To the program, let's kick off with the Tokyo International Conference, which ended hours ago, with the president making significant inroads into increasing investments in the country by assuring the international community that his administration will remove all impediments to private sector participation in the economy. President Buhari gave this assurance at the ongoing conference, on Africa Development in Japan, where he promised to launch the Japan-Nigeria Business Facilitation Council when he returns to the country. Our correspondent Ibrahim Adra has the report.
Investors to Nigeria.
We have continually been a positive bridge between Nigeria and the world. It is not an easy feat, and we commend you, salute your courage.
For those,
it is my pleasure to address this forum.
President Muhammadu Buhari held the attention of all at the third plenary as he delivers his speech. He focused on wooing Japanese and international investors to Nigeria.
Our government is implementing homegrown and private sector-driven economic measures that are predicated on good governance, infrastructure, and human capital development, as well as business climate reform. We therefore invite the private sector to come and invest in Nigeria.
On behalf of his government, he gave this assurance.
We are committed to removing all impediments to private sector participation in these sectors by creating policies that will ensure consistency, predictability, and a level playing field for all.
The day's itinerary included a bilateral meeting with Prime Minister Shinzo Abe.
Thank you, Mr. President, talked about the challenges that Nigeria is facing, the terrorist challenges, the support of Japan through the UN with the humanitarian challenges that we have.
Governors of the president's delegation believe the conference has been fruitful.
So it seeks into the objective of Mr. President. He also seeks, with the growth that we are aspiring in Lagos. So it just means that we can harness all the contact, all the opportunities that are available, right, and take them back home and be able to say to our people, our thoughts are also part of the global thoughts.
Most of the aid from these organizations here from Japan have been going to East Africa. And it's because of the attitude from West Africa. We're not proactive, we're not coming out, we're not being aggressive. You can't just sit at home and expect people to be throwing money at you. You have to show interest that you're interested in aid, you want to work with the Japanese companies.
Next, President Buhari received an official of the European Union. A memorandum of understanding was signed. The EU is promising additional assistance.
They are increasing this by 50 million to 562 million euros, actually. And of course, Mr. President welcomed this. And the large part of this monies will be devoted to the Northeast.
This ties with the expectation of Governor of Borno State.
We are trying to address some of the root causes of the insurgency. And that is why we are looking for support from the Japanese government in terms of creating jobs, especially in the areas of technical and vocational education.
From Yokohama, Japan, Ibrahim Adra, reporting for Channels Television News.
In the meantime, the president has also been defending the country's integrity abroad, insisting that the criminal activities of a few Nigerians do not represent the values of the majority of the people of the country. He was speaking in Yokohama, Japan, at a meeting with leaders of the Nigerian community living in the country on the sidelines of TCAD 7.
We have continually been a positive bridge between Nigeria and the world. It is not an easy feat, and we commend you, salute your courage.
For those Nigerians who engage in criminal activities, President Buhari makes an appeal.
There are a few Nigerians in diaspora that are given as a bad name by engaging in criminal activities. These Nigerians are a minority. They do not represent the values of our country, and I plead with them to change their ways. We will not condone any crime, whether at home or abroad, and we will also not allow these Nigerians define us as a people with reputation for criminality.
Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari. The Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, is reminding Nigerians of the national commitment, which recognizes the equality of all, regardless of ethnicity, religion, or status, and the importance of all individuals and governments to respect the rights and dignity of all as enshrined in the Constitution. Professor Osinbajo challenges youth who he described as leaders of today to be prepared to make sacrifices as champions of peace while living up to the tenets of their religion. He was speaking at the National Muslim and Christian Youth Summit. Our correspondent Gloria Mizuke has more.
It's the National Muslim and Christian Youth Summit attended by the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, accompanied by the Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, ministers and other top government officials.
God bless Nigeria.
The role of Muslim and Christian youth towards a peaceful nation came under focus as the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives and the Minister of Women Affairs identified a range of key issues facing youths.
We're going to collaborate with the executive to ensure that we enact only laws that will be beneficial to the Nigerian people and create job opportunities so that we'll have a better place to live.
For the evil ones that use our youths to cause mayhem, to cause unrest in this country, I am appealing that as leaders of this country, as leaders of our religious organizations, the two main religions, Christian and Muslim, we are the ones that should show the right direction, the right focus, and the right spirit.
In a no-holds-barred address, the keynote speaker asked the youths not to be distracted in order to change the narrative.
Without knowing and applying the teachings of Islam and Christianity, people are vulnerable to being manipulated by the enemies of God who appear in religious garbs to indoctrinate and incite their followers against one another.
The Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, however, warned Nigerians against beating the drums of tribal or religious superiority.
We in this nation are at a historic juncture in the existence of our country. Here and there, we have religious and tribal tensions. Yet our Constitution speaks in the clearest and highest terms of our national commitment to the equality of all Nigerians, regardless of ethnicity, religion, or status. I challenge you to live up to the tenets of your faith and to live up to the best values of humankind.
A standing ovation for
The message of harmony resonates here, reinforcing an appeal to the youths to remain focused while collaborating with the government in the fight against insecurity. From Abuja, Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.
The Ekiti State Council of Elders have been making efforts to ensure the rancor emanating from the inauguration of the new leadership for the Council of Traditional Rulers in the state is contained. The appointment of the new chairman of the council, who is the monarch of Ilawe Ekiti, seems not to have gone down well with top-ranking monarchs in the state. The senior monarchs were absent at the inauguration ceremony of the new chairman earlier this month, as they believe the new leader is not among the top monarchs favored by history to lead the council rationally. But elders in the state want the aggrieved monarchs to come to a roundtable with the state government on the matter in the interest of peace.
The issue is the Oba has been installed. We would have loved to do something before. But it's the situation in which we find ourselves. Are we to leave it to first start? The answer is no. Only àgbà wà nílùú kí ìlú ó bàjẹ́. So even though it might seem to some, it is never too late to see what you can do to maintain peace and order and make the two sides realize where the steps taken may have been right or wrong, and to avoid the future we are here as a body to protect Ekiti, make sure it's peaceful, and therefore it can progress.